Welcome back to Dragon Ball Gekisin Squadra. Season 1 just kicked off and the first character they're adding is another version of Goku. You know what? I think Squadra kinda gets a pass for how original their roster has been so far. It doesn't look like the original character trend is going away though. Later this season we're getting Toppo and Gotenks, so we'll have newcomers very soon. Now because this is the first character, let's talk about the game's business model, which is now in full view for everyone to see. New characters can only be bought with gems, which is the paid currency. Usually you have a choice of buying gems or leveling up your star level until you get a free unlock. But that doesn't go for new characters. You are gonna have to straight up pay real money, and that goes for everyone, no matter how hard you grind. The game just added a battle pass that's gonna give you 50 gems for free, plus another 150 if you buy the premium pass, making it 200 gems in total. The character though costs 250, so that doesn't even cover it. In fact, buying the battle pass also costs 250, so you're actually further in the negative if you choose to go down that path. So in practice, a new character is going to cost you $8. That's what 250 gems comes down to. That is a little expensive from my experience, which is mostly as a fighting game player. I don't have a ton of experience with MOBA economies, but I do think that makes this review even more important. Is this a character that you're actually going to like to play once you buy him? Is this your type of character to play, or is it all about the Super Saiyan 3 hype? That is the main question that I want to try to answer today, so let's take a look at what he does. Goku starts in Super Saiyan 2, and just like most characters, he can transform once he reaches level 7. His rush attacks are Ki Blasts, but he also has a bar that passively fills up, shooting a stronger Ki Blast when it's full for the little bonus of burst damage. The bar fills up passively, you don't need to be attacking for it to fill up, and that basically means that your first attack in any fight is gonna deal more damage. It's great for getting the last hits on some minions. Other than that, it's just a nice bonus you don't have to think about much or even remember. He also has a passive skill where he deals more damage if the enemy has more health than you percent-wise. In fact, you can see the damage bonus appear below the enemy himself. It goes up to 3 levels, but once again, it's something that you don't really have to think about much in-game. It's just kind of there to help you come back from a losing fight. That's the basics of the character, so let's look at his skills, starting with skill number 1, the Super Kamehameha. This is your usual beam, but this one stays on screen for a lot longer than you're probably used to. Before you shoot it, it can be charged up for bigger damage, range, and duration. So unlike the other Goku, this isn't something you just want to shoot in the middle of a fight. This is something you want to use from outside the fight. You want to charge it up and then you want to unleash it because it deals a ton of damage when fully charged, and it's pretty hard to get away from it since Goku can actually redirect the beam after firing it. You can also move around before you shoot it, but you move extremely slowly. The cancel button has actually become my best friend when playing this character. I would often just start charging the beam just in case opponents are ahead around the corner, and if it turns out no one's there, I can hit the cancel button and save the cooldown. This skill quickly became my priority to level up. It goes from a beam that's hard for an enemy to dodge to a beam that just catches the entire enemy team.
Let's go.
We won.
Hey, yo, we win!
Let's go!
Peak game.
And it's by far your best damage dealer, not only against enemies, but also against bosses. It is one of the best skills in the game to steal bosses away from the enemy if you manage to time the charge correctly. Moving on to skill 2, we have Explosive Strike, where Goku jumps on an enemy dealing damage. But you can also press the button twice, which will make Goku retreat back to where he first jumped from. A hit and run kind of skill. But you have to commit to the retreat before the hit. The follow-up must be pressed while he's still flying. It's a pretty straightforward skill and a fairly safe one to use. It deals more damage on lower health enemies, meaning it's meant to be used as a finisher, and it is indeed great at catching enemies who are trying to run away.
Boom, look at that.
He doesn't get away. 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 He doesn't get away! Let's go! Leveling up increases its damage and its distance since it is an AoE wherever you land, as well as its range, as in how far you can jump, which also makes it a great mobility tool since you can just jump into some empty space, making it a good way to gain some distance between you and your chasers if you are losing a fight. It's almost like he's got 2 vanishes from the start of the game, and it definitely has saved me from a lot of deaths. And then we have his final skill, which is Instant Transmission, and it's kind of the skill that defines this character, to be honest. You are able to target any allies or enemies that are visible and instantly teleport to them. The range isn't infinite at the start. In fact, at level 1 it's pretty limited, but it goes up to pretty much full screen at level 3. Immediately, this ability is a total lifesaver, getting you out of situations where no other character would survive. If you can spot a teammate who is away from the chaos quick enough and they are in range and you have this ability of cooldown, you should simply never die as Super Saiyan 3 Goku. That said, it is an ability that can and should be used on offense as well, because if you use your Kamehameha
Kamehameha. Immediately after the teleport, it will come out fully charged instantly. And you've seen the damage that thing can do.
Yeah, we win this.
Boom, 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 boom!
Amazing!
Let's go!
We won.
So it's just incredible for turning the tides of battle, or once again to pick up those final kills before the opponent is able to run away. It's a skill with a long cooldown, however, of over 30 seconds, but you can cut this shorter by 10 seconds if you teleport to an enemy instead of an ally. So it actually encourages you to use it offensively, and that makes playing against a good Super Saiyan 3 Goku extremely scary. You never know when he's gonna pop on your lane out of nowhere, dealing incredible damage, and if he's quick enough, he can also be really hard to kill because he can simply teleport away to safety. And with that, let's talk about his ultimate, Dragon Fist. It's probably the most underwhelming thing about his whole kit. I mean, I like it visually, it's very pretty, but it's just a straightforward beam that you can launch in a fixed direction. Now, it definitely deals damage, it's worth getting this ultimate for sure. It's just not the most creative thing in his kit, so there's not a ton to talk about here. It deals more damage up close, as it lingers on screen for a while, so point blank will hit better, but it's also easier to dodge. The one unique thing about this ultimate is that you cannot get it unless Goku transforms. That doesn't sound like a big deal, but that means that unlike everyone else in the cast, he cannot get this ultimate at level 5 since he can only transform at level 7. That means Goku can feel kinda weak during those two levels. Very often in your lane, you're trying to race your opponents to level 5, so you have the ultimate advantage in a team fight. But with Goku, even if you get that level 5 first, you don't gain that much of a lead, so it's something to be cautious when playing this character. And those are all of his skills. This character definitely feels like a sniper who wants to charge their beam from afar and get good damage without being bothered. And the first thing I thought when I saw that ability was just obviously charging up the beams while hidden in the bushes, but turns out charging up any skill in the bushes actually reveals you, so you're not actually hidden. The beam can also make you a sitting duck for a while, so misfiring it can be deadly. It's a double-edged sword. Now, I'm no pro when it comes to divine cards in this game, but Snowball felt like a must-have with this character. This is a card that buffs your damage every time you get a kill or an assist, but that buff resets if you die, and I feel like that just fits his playstyle perfectly. His skills are made for dealing some damage from a safe distance or for getting the killing blow, which is gonna help build up that card. And he can be quite the cockroach, jumping out of reach with skill 2, or if necessary, teleporting away to safety. Now, it can feel a bit rough to play him from level 5 to level 7 because it feels like everyone else has these powerful ultimates and you have to wait a bit longer. But it also felt easier for me to outlevel the enemy most of the time since the character is so good at stealing Kais or bosses from afar. The character is incredible, and I don't think he's pay to win, by the way. I do think he's very strong, but there are better damage characters for free right now. I really only have one caveat with this character, but unfortunately it is a pretty big caveat, and that is playing with a controller. This character actually made me switch to mouse and keyboard. Now, mouse and keyboard is just a better control scheme in this game. I think everyone knows that, and I think it's totally okay if you don't want to take the game that seriously and would rather just play on controller. That's my preference too. But for some characters, that difference just feels bigger than normal, and Super Saiyan 3 is without a doubt one of those characters, and I'll give you a few reasons why. The first one is skill 1. The charged Kamehameha can be aimed after shooting, and the aiming is naturally easier on mouse, but that's not the only reason. The beam goes beyond your camera limit, so it's actually super helpful to unlock the camera and move it ahead to see the enemies that are about to leave your screen. And the other big reason was definitely instant transmission. Now, as you hover over each character, the camera automatically focuses them, which makes them playable on controller, but I found it much easier to just quickly scope by clicking the minimap and judging the whole situation without a big overlay on my screen before making my decision to use the skill or not. Those two made me switch to mouse and keyboard. He feels like a character that needs that complete map awareness more than most in the cast right now, and without it, you're really not going to shine with this character. So unless you're willing to make the jump from controller to mouse and keyboard, he's actually a character I would not recommend you spend money on. As for mobile, it should be fine too, but I don't have a lot of experience there. Other than that, incredible character, great first addition to Dragonball Gekisin Squadra. I probably played my best ever Squadra games with him. I had a lot of fun for sure. But that's just my opinion, of course. I would love to hear what you think of him in the comments down below. And for more anime games, check out this video right here. Thanks for watching. Bye.